The first sign that something was wrong appeared at exactly 8:17 on a Tuesday morning. At the time, Jake Harrison was sitting near the back of room 204, pretending to pay attention to a lesson about fractions while secretly counting the minutes until lunch. Outside, rain tapped softly against the classroom windows. Inside, 23 students struggled to remain awake. Nothing about the morning suggested that history was about to take a very strange turn. Jake certainly didn't expect it. He was 12 years old, average in almost every possible way, and had spent most of his life trying not to attract attention. He wasn't the smartest student. He wasn't the funniest. He wasn't particularly athletic. If someone had asked his classmates to describe him, most would probably have needed a moment to remember who he was. Jake preferred it that way. Unfortunately, his backpack had other plans. At first, it was only a small movement, a faint tremble. So slight that Jake assumed he had imagined it. He glanced down. The backpack sat beside his desk exactly where he had left it. Still, silent, ordinary. He returned his attention to the whiteboard. 3 seconds later, the backpack moved again. This time, it slid nearly an inch across the floor. Jake blinked. His heart skipped. Slowly, he looked around the classroom. No one else appeared to have noticed. Mrs. Parker continued explaining fractions. Emily Roberts doodled in her notebook. 2 boys near the window whispered about a video game. Everything seemed normal. Except for the fact that his backpack was apparently crawling across the floor by itself. Jake carefully hooked one foot around the shoulder strap and pulled it closer. The movement stopped. For several seconds, nothing happened. Then came a sound, a tiny scratching noise. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Jake froze. The sound was definitely coming from inside the backpack. He swallowed. The backpack contained exactly 4 textbooks, 3 notebooks, a half-eaten granola bar, and a science project he had forgotten to submit. For several long seconds, Jake remained frozen in the middle of the crowded hallway. The noise of hundreds of students faded into the background. The laughter. The conversations. The ringing lockers. All of it seemed distant. Because inside his backpack, something was staring back at him. 2 golden eyes blinked from the darkness behind the zipper. Jake swallowed hard. The backpack twitched again. Then came a low growling sound. Not threatening. More like a complaint. As if whatever was inside was tired of being cramped. A group of students rushed past him. Jake immediately hugged the backpack against his chest. The movement inside stopped. That alone felt strange. It was almost as if the creature understood what he was doing. Almost as if it trusted him. "Okay," Jake whispered nervously. "You are definitely not a squirrel." The backpack shook. A small puff of orange smoke escaped through the zipper. Several nearby students turned. Jake quickly coughed and waved his hand through the air. "Science project," he said. Nobody looked convinced. Realizing he couldn't stand in the hallway forever, Jake hurried toward the oldest part of the school building. Very few students visited that area anymore. Most of the classrooms had been converted into storage rooms years ago. The footsteps echoed through the abandoned corridor. Slow, heavy, deliberate. Jake and the dragon remained perfectly still. The sound came again. Thump, thump, thump. Dust drifted from the ceiling with every impact. Whatever was approaching was far too large to be a student. Jake slowly backed away from the classroom door. The dragon climbed onto his shoulder. Its claws gripped his hoodie tightly. The creature's golden eyes had widened. Apparently, it was frightened too. That realization made Jake even more nervous. If a dragon was scared, then whatever was outside could not be good. The footsteps stopped. Silence filled the room. Neither of them moved. Neither of them breathed. Then something scratched against the other side of the door. A long metallic scraping sound. Jake's heart nearly stopped. The old doorknob began to turn. Very slowly, very carefully. Someone, or something, was trying to come inside. The dragon released a tiny growl. A few sparks escaped from its nose. Jake quickly covered its mouth. The doorknob stopped moving. The silence returned. Then came a voice. "Interesting." The voice sounded old, very old, yet somehow calm. Most students run away when they hear me coming. Jake stared at the door. The dragon stared at the door. The voice continued, "But students rarely hide dragons." The roar that echoed beneath the school did not fade quickly. Instead, it rolled through the foundations like distant thunder. The windows rattled. Dust poured from cracks in the ceiling. Several books fell from the shelves hidden inside the secret room. Jake instinctively stepped backward. The dragon pressed itself against his shoulder. For the first time since emerging from the backpack, it looked genuinely frightened. Mr. Alder moved immediately. The calm expression he usually carried vanished. He grabbed an old leather satchel from the hidden safe and began filling it with maps, lanterns, and several strange metallic objects. His movements were quick and practiced, as though he had prepared for this moment many times before. Jake watched in confusion. The old man crossed the room and knelt beside the grandfather clock. At first it appeared completely ordinary. Then he inserted a brass key into a hidden slot. The clock began to vibrate. Gears clicked. Metal groaned. Slowly, part of the wooden floor slid aside. A narrow stone staircase emerged from the darkness below. Cold air rushed upward. The dragon immediately growled. The staircase descended far deeper than any school basement should. Jake stared into the darkness. The darkness seemed to stare back. Without hesitation, Mr. Alder lit his lantern and stepped onto the stairs. Jake followed. The dragon remained on his shoulder. The hidden passage twisted beneath the school like an underground maze. Ancient stone walls surrounded them. For several terrifying seconds, nobody moved. The enormous golden eyes remained visible through the cracks in the black door. They did not blink. They simply watched. The chamber fell into complete silence. Even the underground river seemed quieter. Jake struggled to stand. His legs felt weak. Every instinct told him to run, yet he could not look away. The eyes beyond the door felt ancient, older than the school, older than the town, perhaps older than anything he had ever known. A deep vibration spread through the cavern. The giant door groaned under immense pressure. Another crack appeared. Then another. Tiny fragments of black metal scattered across the floor. The glowing symbols around the chamber began flashing faster. Blue light pulsed through the walls like a heartbeat. Mr. Alder immediately rushed toward a stone platform near the center of the cavern. Ancient mechanisms emerged from beneath layers of dust. Rusty gears started turning. Massive chains hidden inside the walls rattled loudly. For a brief moment, the cracks stopped spreading. But only for a moment. The force behind the door continued pushing forward. Relentlessly. patiently. Like a predator waiting for the perfect opportunity, Jake looked toward the small dragon. The word echoed through the cavern long after the little dragon had spoken it. Father. The ancient walls carried the sound into every corner of the underground kingdom. Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. Jake felt as though the world itself had stopped turning. The small dragon stood frozen beneath the golden light of the runes. Its glowing eyes remained fixed on the massive black door. The giant eyes beyond the cracks stared back. For a brief moment, father and son looked at one another across centuries of separation. Then the entire cavern shook. A thunderous impact exploded from the other side of the seal. The black door bent inward. Ancient metal screamed. Dust and fragments of stone rained from above. The prison was sailing. Fast. Mr. Alder rushed toward Jake. His face had become pale. Paler than Jake had ever seen. The seal won't survive much longer. Another impact struck the door. The cracks widened. Golden light poured through the openings. Jake could now see more than the eyes. A massive silhouette moved within the darkness. Wings. Horns. Claws larger than cars. The imprisoned Dragon King was far larger than anything carved into the walls. The ancient artists had not exaggerated. If anything, they had made him appear smaller. The crimson eyes remained motionless in the darkness. They did not blink. They did not shift. They simply stared from the shadows beyond the shattered seal, as though they had been waiting for this exact moment for centuries. Watching everything. Watching the Dragon King. Watching the young dragon. Watching Jake and Mr. Alder. The creature seemed to study each of them carefully, measuring their fear before making its next move. Waiting patiently. Not with the impatience of a predator preparing to strike, but with the confidence of something that already believed victory was inevitable. The moment they appeared, the atmosphere inside the cavern changed. The warmth from the golden runes faded. The air became colder. Heavier! The underground river that had glowed with golden light moments earlier now flickered uncertainly. Even the Dragon King stopped moving. His massive claw remained stretched toward the young dragon. Yet, his gaze had shifted away from the frightened boy and the crumbling chamber, as though something far more dangerous had captured his attention. The Dragon King's eyes were not fixed on Jake, despite the boy standing only a short distance away. Nor was he watching Mr. Alder, the guardian who had protected the ancient secrets beneath the school for decades. Instead, his attention remained locked on the darkness spreading through the prison chamber behind him. Deep within that darkness, a pair of crimson eyes stared back with terrifying patience, waiting for the perfect moment to emerge. For the first time, fear appeared on the ancient king's face. The sight alone was enough to terrify Jake. If something could frighten a creature powerful enough to shake mountains, then that something was beyond dangerous. A low growl echoed through the prison chamber. The sound did not come from the Dragon King. Despite his enormous size and terrifying presence, he remained completely silent as the strange noise echoed through the ancient prison. It came from the darkness beyond the shattered seals, from a place where no light could reach, and where something ancient had been waiting for centuries. The cavern trembled violently. Dust rained from the ceiling, and loose stones tumbled into the glowing river as the hidden force continued to awaken. Deep cracks spread across the floor beneath their feet. They raced through the stone like lightning, splitting ancient pathways that had survived for generations. Several stone bridges collapsed into the glowing river below. Massive chunks of rock disappeared beneath the water, while waves of blue light surged through the underground kingdom. Massive pillars shed fragments of rock. The prison was becoming unstable. The crimson eyes slowly moved forward. The darkness surrounding them seemed alive. It twisted and shifted constantly, moving with a purpose that no ordinary shadow should have possessed. It flowed across the cavern floor like liquid shadow, spreading between the ancient stones and creeping toward the center of the chamber with unsettling speed. As the darkness advanced, the golden runes carved into the walls began to lose their brilliance, their ancient light fading beneath the growing influence of the creature. One by one, the glowing symbols flickered and died. Entire sections of the cavern were swallowed by darkness as centuries-old protections failed before their eyes. Light surrendered to darkness. The warm golden glow that had protected the underground kingdom for generations slowly disappeared, leaving only cold shadows behind. The glowing mark on the young dragon's chest continued to shine. Golden light spread slowly across his crimson scales, illuminating the broken stones and shattered pillars surrounding him. With every passing second, the mark grew brighter. The warm golden glow expanded across the cavern, pushing back the darkness that had consumed much of the ancient kingdom. The power inside the young dragon continued to awaken. Ancient energy flowed through his body like a river of light, growing stronger with every heartbeat. Soon, the entire chamber could see the transformation. The small dragon no longer looked like an ordinary creature lost inside a forgotten cavern. He looked like something far more important. Golden light spread across his crimson scales, illuminating the collapsing cavern around him. The effect was immediate. The darkness advancing from Varkoros suddenly slowed. The black mist that had consumed entire sections of the underground kingdom hesitated as it approached the young dragon. For the first time since emerging from the prison, the shadow dragon stopped smiling. Its crimson eyes narrowed as it stared at the young dragon. For the first time since emerging from the darkness, the creature appeared genuinely interested in what it was seeing. The shadow dragon had recognized something hidden within the glowing mark. Its attention remained fixed on the young heir as ancient memories seemed to awaken. The power radiating from the young dragon was not ordinary. It carried traces of an age long forgotten, a connection to the royal bloodline that once ruled the skies. Deep beneath the mountain, ancient symbols responded to his presence. The kingdom itself seemed to remember the heir that history had nearly erased. At last, the truth became clear. The young dragon was not simply a survivor. He was the last heir of the Dragon King, the final hope of a lost empire. The last surviving descendant of the Dragon King's bloodline. The realization spread through the cavern like an invisible wave. The ancient carvings along the cavern walls began to glow once again. Golden light spread through the cracks in the stone, illuminating artwork that had remained hidden in darkness for centuries. Not every carving responded to the awakening power. Many remained dark and lifeless, untouched by the strange energy filling the underground kingdom. Only the carvings depicting the royal dragons came alive. Their eyes glowed softly as ancient images of kings, queens, and dragon guardians emerged from the stone. Golden symbols slowly appeared across the walls. They rose from beneath layers of dust and age, revealing markings that had not been seen since the fall of the ancient empire. Forgotten runes awakened throughout the cavern. One after another, they illuminated the surrounding passages, as though the kingdom itself was recognizing the return of its rightful heir. The underground kingdom itself seemed to recognize its lost prince. The young dragon stared down at the glowing mark on his chest. The golden symbol pulsed with energy, casting warm light across his scales and reflecting in his wide golden eyes. Confusion filled his face as he studied the strange symbol. Deep inside, he felt a connection to it, yet he could not understand why it seemed so familiar. He still remembered almost nothing about his past. His earliest memories were scattered and incomplete, leaving him with more questions than answers. Only fragments remained. Brief flashes of distant places appeared in his mind before disappearing again like fading dreams. Broken images drifted through his thoughts. He saw towering golden castles above the clouds, dragons soaring through endless skies, and crowds cheering beneath banners he did not recognize. Pieces of memories scattered across his mind, yet every symbol around him felt strangely familiar, as though he had seen them before. Long ago. The distant roars continued to echo through the cavern. At first they sounded faint, far away, almost impossible to identify. But with every passing second, they grew louder, closer, stronger. The entire mountain seemed to vibrate beneath the sound. Jake looked upward. The young dragon did the same. Even Varkoros paused. For the first time since emerging from the ancient prison, the shadow dragon appeared uncertain. The golden beam still stretched into the heavens. Its light pierced clouds, crossed valleys, and climbed far beyond the horizon. Something had heard the call, and something was answering. High above the mountain, a violent storm began to form. Dark clouds gathered from every direction. Lightning flashed across the sky. Powerful winds swept through the forests surrounding the town. Trees bent beneath the pressure. Birds abandoned their nests. Animals fled into hiding. Nature itself seemed to recognize that something extraordinary was approaching. Far below, inside the cavern, the glowing runes intensified. The underground kingdom was awakening completely. Ancient towers hidden beneath layers of stone began to emerge. Massive statues rose from the darkness. Golden pathways illuminated throughout the ruins. For centuries, the kingdom had slept. Now it was waking. The young dragon watched in amazement. The roar continued rising from beneath the kingdom. It was unlike anything Jake had ever heard. It did not sound like a dragon. It did not sound like any living creature. The sound resembled a mountain awakening after centuries of sleep. The entire cavern shook violently. Ancient pillars cracked. Golden statues toppled from their foundations. Huge fragments of stone crashed into the glowing river below. Far above, the dragons circling the storm suddenly scattered. Their formation broke apart. Many of them retreated into the clouds. Others hovered in place, uncertain. Fear had spread through the sky. Jake stared at the Dragon King. The enormous ruler who had faced Varkoros without hesitation now looked deeply troubled. His golden eyes remained fixed on the darkness below. He knew what was coming. And he feared it. The realization sent a chill through Jake's body. The young dragon stepped closer to his father. The glowing mark on his chest pulsed faster. The kingdom responded immediately. Ancient towers continued emerging from the earth. Collapsed bridges slowly reconstructed themselves. Long-buried symbols illuminated throughout the ruins. The lost kingdom was restoring itself. But it was not happening fast enough. The roar came again. Louder. Closer. The awakening of the void. The Titan's words echoed through the kingdom long after he had spoken them. The heir has returned. Golden light surged across the cavern. Ancient towers shone brighter than ever before. Thousands of forgotten runes awakened simultaneously. The underground kingdom appeared alive. For a brief moment, hope filled the air. The returning dragons roared from the skies above. The Dragon King stood taller. Even Jake felt the impossible sensation that victory might actually be within reach. Then the shadows moved. Not the darkness surrounding Varkoros, not the black mist crawling across the ruins. Something deeper, something hidden beneath the darkness itself. The temperature inside the cavern dropped instantly. Golden flames flickered throughout the ancient kingdom. The fires that had burned steadily for centuries suddenly weakened, as though an unseen force was draining their power. Ancient lights began to dim across the cavern. One by one, the glowing runes lost their brilliance, casting long shadows across the ruins of the forgotten city. The air became unnaturally still. Even the wind seemed afraid to move as a strange silence settled over the kingdom, pressing down on everything around them. The Titan slowly turned toward the far side of the cavern. His massive stone body groaned with the movement as ancient dust fell from the glowing runes carved into his surface. For several seconds he remained silent, staring toward something hidden beyond the ruins. Whatever had captured the Titan's attention was powerful enough to make even the ancient guardian hesitate. His glowing eyes focused on a distant section of the ruins. The Titan's gaze remained fixed on a distant section of the cavern that nobody had noticed before. Hidden within the darkness, something ancient had remained concealed for centuries. Far beyond the shattered prison, where the remains of broken chains and ruined walls still littered the kingdom, an unfamiliar structure stood in silence. Beyond the ancient river and the glowing pathways of the underground city, a forgotten corner of the mountain emerged from the shadows. There, partially concealed within the rock itself, stood a gigantic stone gate. Its enormous surface was covered with symbols older than any runes found elsewhere in the kingdom. Half hidden beneath centuries of stone and dust, the gate appeared untouched by time. It looked less like a doorway and more like a prison built to contain something the world had long forgotten. Ancient cracks spread across its surface as the mountain trembled. Small fragments of rock fell away, slowly revealing more of the colossal structure hidden beneath. The closer they looked, the stranger the carvings became. None of the symbols resembled dragon markings or titan runes, suggesting they belonged to something far older. The carvings covering its surface were older than the kingdom itself, older than dragons. The question echoed through the kingdom. Who dares awaken me? For several terrifying seconds, nobody answered. The colossal eye beyond the gate continued to stare into the world. Galaxies rotated within its silver iris. Stars were born and died within its endless depths. Jake could barely breathe as he stared at the enormous eye beyond the gate. Every instinct told him that what he was seeing should not exist within the world he knew. The sight felt impossible. The creature beyond the ancient prison looked nothing like a dragon, a titan, or any living being described in the forgotten records of the kingdom. Something about its presence felt deeply wrong. Even the air seemed distorted around it, as though reality itself struggled to contain whatever was awakening behind the gate. It was as though the universe itself had been squeezed into a single eye. Stars, galaxies, and endless cosmic storms rotated within its silver iris, creating a sight that no mortal mind was meant to witness. The ancient gate continued opening. Stone shattered. Chains forged before recorded history snapped apart one after another. Their ancient links shattered under the growing pressure, sending shockwaves through the mountain and releasing energy that had remained contained for ages. The mountain groaned beneath the strain. Deep vibrations echoed through the stone as the ancient prison continued to weaken, threatening everything built above it. Black energy poured across the kingdom like a dark tide. It spread through the streets, across the ruins, and into the ancient halls that had only recently awakened. Wherever the dark energy passed, the golden runes began to fade. Their protective light weakened as centuries of magic struggled against the force escaping from beyond the gate. Ancient towers cracked under the pressure. Massive fractures spread across their foundations, while fragments of stone broke away and crashed into the kingdom below. Entire sections of the restored city began collapsing once again. The returning dragons circled overhead in confusion. Many wanted to flee. Others prepared to fight. None of the dragons knew what choice was correct. Some prepared to flee from the growing darkness, while others remained in the sky, waiting to see what the ancient guardian would do next. The Titans stepped forward through the ruins of the kingdom. Each movement shook the cavern floor beneath him, and every step echoed like distant thunder through the mountain. His enormous stone body trembled as ancient runes glowed beneath the cracks in his surface. Dust fell from his shoulders, while fragments of rock broke away from his aging form. The trembling was not caused by fear. The Guardian had stood watch over the prison for thousands of years and had faced dangers beyond imagination. It came from age. Time itself had worn away his strength, yet he continued moving forward, determined to fulfill the duty he had carried since the dawn of the ancient kingdom. For thousands of years he had guarded the prison. For thousands of years he had waited for this moment, the final moment. The Dragon King moved beside him. Golden fire burned between his jaws. The old enemies, dragons and titans, now stood together.